Dear brother and brother-in-law, I'm very weak. Last week at the mission, I had a bad moment. So he's just sort of giving his family a warning, maybe I'm not feeling so good.
Devotion, Louis Riel writes home, has entered its final month of exhibition at the University of Calgary's Nickel Galleries. The exhibit features private letters and a journal from Louis Riel to family from the 1870s to 1880s, mostly from his time in America from exile after the Red River Resistance. Annie Murray purchased the 50 or so items from a Calgary bookstore, who in turn bought it from people who said they were descendants of Riel. Murray is the rare books and special collections librarian at the university. She says she can't say the purchase price, but it was a significant amount. She then took the writings that showed Riel's life outside his very public profile.
What I included were his more personal writings, which were often very imbued with spirituality, and that's why I chose the name Devotion for the show. Louis Riel was profoundly devoted to his family, he was devoted to God, and he was devoted to the Métis people.
Riel is more famous for his political life in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, but these letters to his family, written mostly in French, detail his life across the many other parts of America he lived in.
So it takes us from this young man who's been involved in the Red River Resistance, 69 and 70, to these years in the 70s where he's living down in the States, staying with various friends, trying out various jobs, eventually moving west to Montana. So it's sort of this, what was Riel up to in those interlude years between these big moments of his life. That's what a lot of these letters capture.
Murray says the letters show unique insight into how Riel loved his family.
I chose these because they give some insight into what were the kinds of things that was on Louis Riel's mind, and also who was he the most connected to. He was very close with his sister Octavie, and then when Octavie got married to Louis Lavallee was basically his brother. They became so close. So it taught me who were Louis Riel's trusted inner circle. They were his sister Octavie, his brother-in-law Louis Lavallee. When his younger brother Joseph grew up, eventually Joseph became someone he wrote to much more.
One of Riel's diaries is on display. He wrote it, but others added notes in the back. Murray is hoping to find out who they were.
Following Louis Riel's execution, in the back of the diary, there are all these contributions from others about what happened to Louis Riel. What does Louis Riel mean? Why is he so significant? And like, what was this terrible injustice that occurred? So I hope that community members, descendants, scholars, people who kind of know the figures from this time in history, maybe eventually they can figure out who wrote all these other things in the notebook.
The devotion runs until September 1st and can be found online at digitalcollections.ucalgary.ca. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Calgary.